What's up, everyone? I am back with another one. So I just want to talk about certain things that are on my mind. And the first thing that I want to start with is Brian Chira. I don't get to see a lot of what he does because I'm not as connected nowadays that way. So a lot of these news are just things that I get to hear. I work with a lot of Gen Zs and they follow most of these things and I get to hear them from there. And one of the persons that I get to hear a lot of is Brian Chira. So this guy, I would not give context because I don't also know him that way, so you can just Google. But what I want to talk about is the first time that I really paid attention was when Aziad sued him, and then now he was ranting about how people have not helped him, people who had previously helped him. And what I want to say in relation to that is this has now become our culture. We are a culture of people that tear each other down, and you might not have to do anything. Actually, quite frankly, I believe that for you to be hated in this country, you don't have to do much. You just have to just live your life and to excel while doing it. And I think Aziad, for example, has faced a lot of backlash consistently, so it's not the first time that he did it. But I don't understand how much bile someone can have in them to be able to spew that kind of hate and that kind of abuse and insults for nothing. Like, she didn't do anything. She just was insulted. And that's how we have degenerated. That is what we have degenerated to. And a lot of times when you judge people like Brian Chira, we want to put them in a box and say, like, this is not doing what everyone else does. He is just in his own league and doing his own thing. But truth be told, all of us, most of us, our society hates everyone who seems like he's getting it all together. And you don't have to do anything to be hated. You just have to do your work and be good at it, and that earns you hate. And so I'm not surprised when he insults people like he does, because he just says things we say when the cameras are not on. I don't think it makes it right. I just think it makes everyone else be a little bit more civil, and he decided to say what a lot of people say behind closed doors. We hate each other, and it's stemming from our own insecurities. We hate ourselves, and we've not seen ourselves do the things some of these people in this generation are doing, and it makes us we project. I would say projection. And so that was the first time. Right now, it's an entitlement issue. And I again work with a lot of young people. Entitlement is the worst thing that I get to see, and it recurs. That you feel that people helped you because they needed to help you. Like I was so sad when he started saying things like Nyako and the other Baba someone, what they did for him was nothing because people contributed. Like, it is not a given that someone would give you a platform, give out their platform for you to get contribution out of. And every single time that we go ahead and jump on Twitter and act like we are better, I just feel that we are a bunch of hypocrites. Quite frankly, Brian Chira is a reflection of who we are. We are people who are entitled. We think that people help us because we deserve to be helped. We deserve these things. And A lot of times that is the mentality that people carry at work, in every endeavor that they take. Like, I deserve to be helped. I am good enough to get the promotion. I'm good enough to be hired. I see people send CVs on Facebook, not CVs, sorry, like applications, like, I want this job because I did this, and then if you don't reply after 2 minutes, they are insulting you. Like, I see that a lot. I have seen people that have done excess over and beyond for, and then in one split second, like, they seem like you never did anything. Like, actually, it's you who was benefiting from them. And you know from deep down that there was nothing in it for me. I helped from a good place, but then I am being dragged as a result of being kind. And so we are in a society that even kindness is dangerous. It's dangerous to be kind because you never know. Like, people who have the ammunition to be able to attack you and jump on you are mostly people that you once helped. And they would say things. I have hosted people in my house, and they get out of my house and they start bad-mouthing me and using everything that they saw in their house to be able to add some salt and get some cheap airtime somewhere. Like, I have rescued women from abusers. Literally, just go and pick someone who is being abused from a home and host them and have them go back to their husbands and have their husbands send texts to me insulting me how I'm a home wrecker. I got to a point, I completely do not deal with domestic violence cases because of the level of toxicity that it just introduces in my life. Like, you are set out to help, and you set out to do like something that you think is good because it's coming from a good place. But just because you think it's a good thing to do, I feel that a lot of times, and for kind people, you have to get to a point where there's a limit, but also that you get to a point where you don't do it for people. You do it for yourself. Because if you get your energy off of the appreciation that you get out of it, you will be burnt out. Back to Brand Chira. Entitlement is a big issue in our society, and we need to face it. A lot of times people help us and dig us from the pit, and then we go ahead and throw them inside that same pit. And it happens every time. And so when people begin to look at him, he is a reflection of all of us. And I know a lot of people say mental health, alcoholism, all that, and maybe even our own entitlement issues as a society, is because we are sick. We are sick. It's a degree of sickness that varies, but there's certain things that I believe you cannot do if you are a sane human being. Like, if you are someone who is 100% normal, you will know not to bite the hand that once fed you. And so it's a degree of mental health issues that we go through that varies, but I believe in everyone there is that level of insanity. And I think as a society, we are insane. We are insane because we do not get to appreciate a lot of the things that are done. And so it doesn't shock me because I've seen so many things. It might not be at the same degree, but it's there. And so turning around, apologizing, cycle turns, doing the same thing, like, it's exhausting. And I, for one, believe that we need to begin to have these conversations even at our dinner tables, like at home. Don't be the kind of parent who backbites everyone in front of their children. Don't be the kind of child who picks that up and begins to tear each other down. Because a lot of times when you talk so badly about somebody, this is something that I've learned. There's something about that person that you hate. And it's not because you hate it because it's necessarily about them. It's about you and your insecurities. Because you don't do it, you don't want anyone else to do it. Because You didn't succeed in it, you don't want everyone else to succeed in it because you think you're better than everyone else. The fact that someone else is doing it irritates you. And so it's never about even the other person, it's about you and your insecurities. And I think a lot of us, before we get to a point where we start judging and pointing fingers at him, sit down, calm down, relax, and begin to evaluate yourself and ask yourself, do you do better? Are you just a people hater? Just because you see someone is excelling, you hate them. You hate them in advance. You hate everything about them, the way they talk, the way they smell, the way they smile, the way they walk. You hate it. And you don't hate it because they've necessarily done a bad thing to you. You hate them because they are a reflection of everything you wish you were and you are not. And that's the case for so many of us. And so when you begin to look at what he does, I would charge all of us to begin thinking about, what am I doing better than he is? How am I acting better than he does? How am I beginning to heal the scars that I have in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, in a way that makes it easy for me to be able to not look at people and automatically feel like I have something bad to say about someone. And so those are things that we need to have conversations about. I don't judge people as much because I am a recovering people hater. I recognize that it was coming from a place of brokenness. And so I am not very quick to judge and to throw stones and all that. I don't do that. Because I know that a lot of people who do those things are hurt. They are deeply hurt. And that's not an excuse to commit crimes. And I 100% agree with Aziad. He needs to face the face of the law. And some of these things need to be litigated so that you get to a point, even if your mental, you don't have the capacity to begin to feel that you're hurting someone, then you begin to fear the law. And I think that's also a valid thing that needs to happen, that people should not get away with defamation. People should not get away with just waking up and being a complete brat. It's not okay. It's not okay. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm leaving you with 2 things. How is the state of your heart in terms of entitlement? Entitlement, it sucks. It makes everyone to run away from you. It's so sad to have someone around you who feels they have a right to things. Like, you always have a right. You always have a right. Like, no one ever does something that you ever get to appreciate because the state of your heart, you're not grateful for anything because you deserve it. You begin to evaluate that. The second thing is how you just hate people randomly. Like, people just piss you off. Like, you just want to get on to Instagram and just begin a live and troll someone and give out their number and make them sad and make them miserable because you're miserable yourself. And so you might not do it at the degree of Brian Chira, but you are doing it at your own degree, and it is not okay. So you need to sit down, evaluate our lives, and see, are we really better? If you're not, you change. Bye.